This is the Scottish Parliament building in Edinburgh, Scotland. This is an exhibition for Eric Liddell. He was a Scottish athlete with strong Christian beliefs. But why would the Scottish Parliament make an exhibition about him? What makes his life so remarkable? Eric Liddell was born on the 16th of January 1902 in Tientsin, China. His Scottish parents, James and Mary Liddell, were Christian missionaries. They had moved from Scotland to China to spread the teachings of Christianity. Eric's early years were spent in China, where his parents instilled in him and his siblings strong Christian values and a dedication to service. At the age of 6, Eric and his older brother Robert were sent back to the UK for schooling. They attended Eltham College, a boarding school in London known for its focus on academic excellence and Christian education. Despite the challenges of being away from home, Eric thrived at Eltham. It was here that his athletic abilities first began to shine. He quickly became known for his speed on the rugby field and in running races. His natural talent and humble demeanor earned him the respect and admiration of his peers and teachers alike. In 1920, Eric enrolled at the University of Edinburgh, where he pursued a degree in pure science. At Edinburgh, his potential as a sprinter became fully realized. His involvement with the university's athletics club led to a series of record-breaking performances in the 100 and 200-yard dashes. His running style was distinctive and unorthodox. This made him stand out from the other athletes of his time. When Eric ran, he adopted a peculiar form that many initially thought would hinder his performance. As he accelerated, Eric would tilt his head back and raise his chin, almost as if he were looking up at the sky. His arms would flail outward rather than stay close to his body, and his legs seemed to churn with a powerful but slightly awkward motion. Despite this seemingly inefficient style, his sheer speed and energy were undeniable, allowing him to outpace his competitors. This unorthodox style, combined with his fierce determination, earned him the nickname the Flying Scotsman. Eric's success on the track was swift and remarkable. In 1921, he made his debut at the Scottish Amateur Athletics Association, SAAA National Championships, where he won both the 100 and 220-yard events. Over the next few years, he continued to dominate national competitions, setting British records and captivating audiences with his raw speed and infectious energy. Eric Liddell's athletic career reached its peak when he participated in the 1924 Paris Olympics. He was selected to represent Great Britain in the 100 meters, his best event and the one in which he was heavily favored to win gold. However, just a few months before the Games, Eric discovered that the 100-meter heats were scheduled for a Sunday. As a devout Christian, Eric believed that Sunday was a day of rest and worship, and he refused to compete on the Sabbath. This decision shocked the British public and his fellow athletes. The pressure on Eric to reconsider was immense, with even the British Olympic Committee urging him to put aside his convictions for the sake of national pride. But Eric remained steadfast in his beliefs, choosing to withdraw from the 100 meters and instead compete in the 400 meters, an event in which he was not expected to excel. On the 11th of July, 1924, Eric Liddell lined up for the 400-meter final. Running in the outside lane, he started the race at a blistering pace, leaving his competitors trailing behind. Many believed he would tire before the finish, but Eric seemed to find another gear in the final stretch. Crossing the line first in a world record time of 47.6 seconds, it was a victory that transcended sport, a triumph of faith, conviction, and the human spirit. Eric said, "The secret of my success over the 400 meters is that I run the first 200 meters as fast as I can. Then, for the second 200 meters, with God's help, I run faster." After his Olympic triumph, Eric returned to Scotland as a national hero. But rather than basking in the glory of his success, he chose a different path, one that led him back to China. In 1925, Eric Liddell returned to the land of his birth, not as an athlete, but as a missionary. He joined his parents in their work, teaching science at a missionary school in the place of his birth, the city of Tientsin. Although incidentally, the city had been renamed as Tianjin. Here, Eric preached the Christian gospel and served the local community. Eric's life in China was far from easy. The country was in the grip of political turmoil, and the threat of war loomed large. Yet, Eric remained committed to his mission, dedicating himself to the education and spiritual nourishment of the children in his care. His presence in the community was a source of comfort and hope for many, and his humility and kindness left a lasting impression on all who knew him. The outbreak of the Second Sino-Japanese War in 1937 marked a dark period in China's history. As the conflict intensified, Eric sent his wife, Florence, and their children to safety in Canada. However, he chose to stay behind, continuing his work despite the increasingly dangerous conditions. In 1943, Eric Liddell was captured by the Japanese and interned in a camp in Weifang, along with thousands of other foreign nationals. Life in the internment camp was harsh, food was scarce, disease was rampant, and the prisoners faced constant uncertainty. Yet, even in these dire circumstances, Eric's faith never wavered. He organized sports and activities for the children, shared his limited food rations with those who were weaker, and continued to preach the gospel. His selflessness and unwavering faith provided comfort and hope to his fellow prisoners. Eric said, "Circumstances may appear to wreck our lives and God's plans, but God is not helpless among the ruins. God's love is still working." Tragically, Eric's health began to deteriorate due to the harsh conditions in the camp. In February 1945, just months before the end of the war, Eric Liddell died of a brain tumor, likely exacerbated by malnutrition and the stresses of internment. He was 43 years old. Eric Liddell's death was a profound loss to all who knew him, but his legacy endures. In Scotland, he is remembered not only as an Olympic champion, but as a man of deep faith and integrity. His life story, immortalized in the film Chariots of Fire, continues to inspire generations of athletes and believers alike. Each year, the Scottish Schools Athletic Association awards the Eric Liddell Memorial Trophy to the athlete who embodies the same spirit of excellence, sportsmanship, and faith that Eric demonstrated throughout his life. His name remains synonymous with courage, conviction, and the enduring power of faith. In China, Eric Liddell is also fondly remembered. His work as a missionary and his sacrifice during the war have left an indelible mark on the communities he served. The camp where he spent his final years is now a site of pilgrimage for those who wish to honor his memory and reflect on the profound impact of his life. Eric Liddell's life was a race well run. He lived with a purpose, driven by his faith and a desire to serve others. His story is a powerful reminder that true greatness is not measured by medals or accolades, but by the impact we make on the lives of others and the principles we stand by. So there it is. Eric Liddell, the true Flying Scotsman, was an Olympic champion and a man who lived his faith with every breath, inspiring countless others along the way. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more.
Eric Liddell, with rapid pace in every step, with God's embrace he taught and served, with heart and soul helping others, his highest goal. With a wild style, his head thrown back, no man could catch him on the track. On God's day, he would not run, but he took the gold in a race hard won. Eric Liddell, with rapid pace in every step, with God's embrace he taught and served, with heart and soul helping others, his highest goal. To China again he made his way, to serve the folk and help them pray. But invaders took him and locked him up. He served the inmates till he left the earth. Eric Liddell, with rapid pace in every step, with God's embrace he taught and served, with heart and soul helping others, his highest goal.